Zoom going and we can hit it up.
All the cool kids are doing it.
They are. Welcome back. We are here. The cool kids are definitely doing it. We're back here on Bucks and Brews. We're going with our sponsor, Alebird, once again because we had some of this left. This was the CPBP. Say that 10 times fast.
Can't say it one time fast.
No kidding. So hopefully we'll have some people listening live on Podbean tonight. It's up so we can talk to you. You can call in on Podbean if you're out there. Obviously, nobody's hopped on yet, so I'm just kind of telling nobody, I guess. But
so we're telling all of our fans on YouTube.
All right. So I haven't uploaded to YouTube in a while. I really need to get on that.
Yeah.
It's because I have no time in my life. Ooh, I need a hat.
Yeah, so you might want to do that.
Because I'm bald without it.
We're hatless people.
So we're going to talk about. What are we going to talk about? Ways to pay yourself first.
No, so why it's important.
I think this is great too because it kind of works into the business aspect. So like owning a business, people told Dawn, if you're not paying yourself, what are you doing it for? And of course our answer was we don't want to take all this money and then we turn around and the business goes out of business because we took money out of it. So she was talking to somebody that she knows that has another business and they're basically in the same boat. They're not paying themselves because they don't feel like they can, and they're doing all this work and really not seeing any success out of that yet. So,
I don't know in a business side if there's a right or wrong way because, my business for the longest time up until I pretty much lost my job, theoretically I paid myself because I'd reinvested, I guess, but I didn't live off of it. I didn't do any of that, and so you are. You're working for free. But supposedly you're doing it because you enjoy it. I still don't learn. I still don't have that down. I still don't learn that, right? But at my day job, really, once I listened to a couple other people talking about pay yourself first, why, right? And we did the episode on the why, why are we doing this? That was really big. But so I started my 401k, right, which is instantly it comes out paying myself before I even get my paycheck, right? Making sure I have those things set because why? Because I deserve that, and I know that it doesn't have to be hey, pay yourself and go get instant gratification and go buy things every day. No, it's make sure you invest in yourself. Make sure you're giving yourself what you're worth. Businesses, you can't give yourself what you're worth because you're worth billions, right? We are tired. We are always tired and always working, and your mind constantly thinks, and that's all you do when you're a business owner.
Well, it's hard when you own a business too, because I guess your business is a little different, obviously, because you're the business people you're supporting are you, your wife, and your daughter.
Yep.
Okay. Whereas when Dawn and I are looking at it here, we have 3 part-time. Well, actually, we have 5 part-time staff members, and for a couple of them, it's their main source of income.
Yep.
And, we want to be able to pay them more than what we're paying currently, and we'll get there. I would assume a year from now, we're, knocking on where we want to be. But, like everything, it takes time. You have to grow it.
Yep. Well, and it's, when you're paying other people more than you're making, they never see that, right? Nobody will ever see how how much you're working compared to what you're actually making.
Well, everybody makes more an hour here than Dawn and I.
Yeah.
I make nothing per hour here.
Yeah.
And Dawn takes a salary, so you can say that I am making money because she's getting paid, but myself, I'm not making anything monetarily out of it. So we had a really busy Saturday this week. We had 29 appointments.
Yeah.
So we were jam packed. And hang on, I gotta say hi to one of our buddies out here. Gumball heads on, which is Eric, as we know. Hopefully.
Yeah, so we have to get on with him.
I'm hoping Sunday we can talk to you, just so you know, Eric. Trying to set that up. Nick and I are trying to figure that out.
Yeah, we have to get our life together. We're horrible.
We are. And we're just, both of us, just so busy right now. But we were here Saturday, and I said to Dawn at one point, I'm like, so do we have enough people tomorrow or do I need to work? Because I'll work if I need to. And she's like, well, Ashley and I are here, but it'll kind of depend on how things fall. And Emily was here at the time, and she goes, I can work.
Yep.
And Dawn goes, well, I didn't want to put you on Sundays. She had it for shift. She's like, no, that's fine. I can come in tomorrow. It's not a big deal. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, I know that costs me money for her to come in, but at the same time, I'd rather pay for her to come in so that, I can have a little bit of time off, because I am working, a full-time job. I'm here at the break room therapy a lot. I go coach.
Yep.
I'm doing school. So, I have all these things in the fire.
Yep. Well, and I look at your wife's salary, like, because you guys have a combined income at home,
Yep.
right? So you are paying yourself just through one employee instead of two. And business wise, it makes sense, because otherwise then you don't show an income, it's harder to get loans, yada, yada, yada. I think where in my business, I don't have direct employees, let's say, but I have to give my contractors, right? And I have to keep them busy. Otherwise, they move on. Otherwise, and so I don't look at my final total until it's ridiculously past, right? Make sure I've always been the person that makes sure everybody else gets paid first, make sure everybody else is squared away and taken care of, and then I go and pay myself. But
Yep.
I did that because, again, I was paying myself first in my job that I was going to from 3 a.m. to 1, right? Here we don't pay ourselves anything. I guess we do because we buy our own beer, but
I guess that's technically paying ourselves first.
Yeah.
So we have Lightbright on here on Podbean, and she's asking where we're from. So Nick and I both live in West Michigan.
Yeah.
Nick is from Jenison. I live in Byron Center. Yep. Nick has lived in this area his entire life. I was born in Chicago, lived in LA for a year. Grew up in Plainwell, Michigan, which is just north of Kalamazoo.
Ooh, we just stopped there the other day for ice cream.
Ice cream, the best ice cream in the state at Plainwell. I lived in Rockford, Illinois for 3 years, then I moved back to this area. So, I made it around a little bit. So yeah, and definitely anybody on with us on Podbean, if you have questions, please just jump in. As we said, we're talking about how to pay yourself first. So, when you look at it from a business aspect.
So, Lightbright, there's a question that was just asked real quick was, what do you mean pay yourself? Like do something nice for yourself. No, do something. So when we say pay yourself, it's right. We were talking about like 401k, invest in yourself, invest into making sure that future is there, right? So take instant money and have it go away. So we talk about it in a couple episodes where, hey, take $50 out of your account and put it instantly into savings. Don't have that opportunity to spend it, right? Pay yourself, make sure that this is paid. Other people do it like you were talking about it. You have it set up to where a certain amount guarantees to go towards your house, right? Mm-hmm. You've paid that, and then you're overpaying, right? So you're paying yourself because you're making a better future, right? That's the biggest key.
Well, and when we're looking at it, so we're talking about paying yourself first. Have a goal.
Yep.
So when you're looking at that goal, say, okay, I know with me, like the extra stuff I do for money, whether it's, taking surveys or doing coin out or, whatever, I take that extra money and I put it into something, whether it's my Betterment IRAs or I throw it in Stash or Acorns. I put it somewhere that hopefully it will be making money for me, because eventually I want to be able to do what I want when I want. I mean, that's kind of the point of our show, is do what I want when I want.
Yeah, if we weren't Bucks and Brews, that would be the name of our show. Do what we want when we want to.
See, and I like this. So every time Lightbright goes grocery shopping, they get $10 to $20 cash back and put it in the safe. Now that's a great idea. You brought this up to me the other day.
It's a huge idea.
So share with me what you shared with me on text the other day.
Sure. So something came up. I was reading through some comments about a financial thing, and one person had mentioned, they said, my husband and I do a grateful jar, right? We're grateful to have jobs. So they take $10 each, and every week they put $10 into that jar. And the comment went on to say, that money has saved us later, because we build it up. So they're so thankful to have their job, and every week they just keep piling it up, piling it up, piling it up. And when you don't keep track of something, you either tend to lose it, or it's forgotten about. So when we talk about bank accounts, right? We tell people to constantly check them, things like that. Know your finances, but I have no problem with a small amount of money like that where it's constantly building, right? Like, again, take $50 and put it into savings, and tell you what, set a date in your phone for 6 months and don't think about it. And then all of a sudden you're going to look at it and go, that's a huge chunk of money compared to $50, because your mind just thinks $50. Your mind doesn't think, let's say 500, 5,000. Your mind doesn't think that, right? All your mind thinks is $50. Like, that's how we are created. That's how we're developed as people, right? Like, hey, if I work 40 hours, I get a paycheck. It's $400. Or, so like, I work, I get this, right? Like, you don't think, hey, I don't work, I just keep putting money into here. And then it just all of a sudden is a big chunk of money, right? And that's a big thing for me.
Well, so I'm at that time of the year, raises.
Yep.
Got a raise. It'll be effective this paycheck I get on Friday. So I already know I can live off what I'm making.
Yeah.
So I have extra money now. Should I run right out and, buy a new softball glove, or should I reinvest that money in myself and pay myself first, whether it goes, I up my stash investment, or I up my betterment
403B
or my 403B,
yep.
Or, what should I do with that? And I know for me, so, there's rumors that even though they say they're going to start cruising in a couple of months, that it might not actually happen until November now.
Sure.
And I have a cruise scheduled for October. And if I, don't get to go on that, what am I going to do instead? Because I still need to find a way to reward myself.
Yeah.
So, obviously I'll have a credit for a future cruise, and that's great. But I still need to set aside some extra money just in case that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So that maybe, we take a night and we go to Cerberus again and, enjoy the room with a pool.
Yeah. Well, that's, it's funny because I love, because we think so much alike, but so different at times. But, I flipped a house and doing another one and stuff, and people are like, oh, what are you doing with it? And I was like, you know what I do? I just throw it all away. And I was like, no, I don't. Like, I take a very small percent, right? And I either go buy a very nice beer. Mm-hmm. I took my wife out to dinner tonight, right? We went to Logan's. It was, quick $40, $50 tab. Like, she got a drink, right? I mean, we don't spoil ourselves huge. But
Eric buys new Speedos.
Oh, dude, you know what? I mean, I do have a pool, and you're more than welcome to come on over and use it when I'm not there, so I don't have to see you in that Speedo, brother. I have to say. But no, I constantly, and I do. I make sure I gift myself something nice, because I did all that. Like, buying a house is stressful. Selling a house is stressful. Well, the entire thing is just stressful. And it's not just I do it for me. I do it for my wife, because I know I put her through all of it, and I'm sometimes not the nicest guy while dealing with it, because
I hear the same thing.
I don't handle stress. I don't handle stress like an amazing person. It's just like, it happens. But I think that's why I'm successful, right? Because if something happens, instantly attacked, right? I mean, I got a phone call this morning, or a text message I woke up to at 4 this morning. Hey, there's a leak under the sink. And so, I got up later this, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't flooding. It wasn't catastrophic. So I called my contractor and was like, I need you to go over here. I need you to fix this. And, by 8:30 in the morning, he was over there fixing it. So, I never know what's going on with the next thing. So I do. I'm a saver by nature, right?
Yep.
One other we talk about it with the kids, right? For the jars for investing and things like that, investing, savings, and gifting. But I really enjoy teaching people. If we can change the mindset to pay yourself first, that's a really big thing for me, because instant gratification, you'll know it, that long term, right? I mean, you look at old people, right? I mean, let's call them old people. I mean, you're getting up there in age because you're a
Thanks.
grandpa. But no,
Appreciate it.
I mean, you look at people who are retired and it seems like their stress for money isn't the same. Like if they've done the right thing. So the people that didn't, but like, yeah, hey, I got to choose my retirement day. I'm not working till I'm dead. Like, yeah, hey, we go out to dinner, we do normal things. You don't, or hey, guess what? Those are usually the people that you see going to buy the Corvette. I mean, yeah, you see other people financing it, but like, they're the ones with a smile on their face because they're driving the Corvette, not the ones that are like, the payment on this, so like you can just hear it when people talk. They're like, yeah, I worked my butt off to get here.
Well, see, and I love what Eric's saying is if he puts in 5 hours of overtime, he sets 2 hours aside. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, I'm getting a raise. I have an idea of what it's going to be,
Mhm.
but I know what I made before, so I'll look at what I make after, and I might take $10 and throw it into my budget.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take that other money and I'm going to throw it into something else because, whether it's a vacation fund or whether it's into my investments, whatever it's going into.
Yeah.
I want to be able to enjoy it because again, that's what it is about paying yourself. It's something you can enjoy, whether it's, into your investments. So maybe you can retire a little sooner or a little more comfortable when that time comes, or whether it's, going on a vacation. Nick is huge on vacations because he, didn't get to take a lot when he was younger. So now he wants to vacation as much as possible. And who can really blame him? Eric went out and bought a Harley,
So I'm sorry, it's going to break down, but I have a Honda VTX 1800. Toot my own horn on that bad boy, Just say we'll let you know with that middle finger emoji that we just got. Problem is I'll be the one on my bike actually going down the road with the middle finger in the air. He'll still be fixing the oil leak. No, hey, anybody that has a bike is better than the person that doesn't have a bike, right? And say,
and I do not have a bike.
That's fact. Say, and that's what I did that with my raises, right? And we talked about that like during our journey. It was, I remember I got hired at $10 an hour and I was making it in life, right? Like I was doing plenty fine. And, I got my $13 an hour raise, pretty quickly. And I was like, oh, I didn't do anything with it. And then all of a sudden I had to kick myself in the butt and was like, hey man, you were doing okay here. Like start investing, like start doing these things, start doing this. And, every time I got a raise and come up to $25 an hour, like, man, I was literally living off of 40% of my pay because 60% was getting invested in stuff. Like, I was the best thing. I just said it. I ran into my uncle at dinner, which was kind of funny. No, Bob.
Okay. I don't know Bob.
And I was like, really, it was the best thing I ever did was invest in myself because I didn't get used to that income. Like yes, losing my job sucks, right? And it's always a life-changing things for people, but I think you can get to the point of, where it doesn't hit you so hard, right? Like you hear this all the time where it's like, oh yeah, I left my corporate job to go take a normal job because my corporate job was ridiculous, and it's like, if you have the opportunity to choose what you do in life, that's called success in my book, right? I mean,
well, again, my wife's a great example because she, worked jobs her whole life and, she got paid some good money and she got paid not what she was worth, depending on where she was at. And, for her, it was always, she really wanted to not answer to somebody anymore. She got sick of that. Hey, I need time off to go to a doctor's appointment. Is that okay? Because in all honesty, that's kind of bullshit.
Yep.
And I've kind of lived my whole life that way. If I tell you I need the time off, I need the time off. It's not a request.
Yeah.
It's, I won't be here.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know.
Oh, and it's, it's tough because there's people that take advantage of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard because your wife, she has a lot of medical, right?
Yep.
I mean, and so what do you do as an employer, right? Like, are you that employer that stands up and says, yeah, hey, take care of yourself because you actually care? Or is it, no, you got to be a company person? And it's, man, like, what kind of company do you want to be in? And big corporations, they're like, nope, do you have time off? No, this. I think like, to me, that was one of the stipulations about my new thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, one of my stipulations was I get as much time off as I want. They know that I'm not going to abuse it, but they also know that I am going to take time, right? Like, I mean, I'm going away end of May, beginning of June. We probably won't do a podcast then.
We'll have to get something in the
Yeah, that's a full, that's a full
in the
week.
jar.
We talked about it. I'm going to take 3 weeks with my kids, 10 years old, to go to Europe. That's kind of my goal right now. Like, so I'm gonna be gone for 3 weeks, right? Like, will we do a podcast there? Hell yeah, with Eiffel Tower in the back, and then
Find that guy in France that wants to come on.
heck yeah, Leaning Tower of Pisa. I have really awesome backdrops, and my wife will get all pissy, but I'll just send her to go do stuff.
That will happen.
That will happen, but it's just like South Dakota. Say, oh yeah, I got mountains in the background, right? To me, it's really fun.
So neither of you that are listening live with us on Podbean realize this, but Nick took a vacation over the summer to South Dakota, and literally when he got there, he went and did a podcast with me and sent his wife and daughter away.
Yeah. No, well, I sent them to the pool and to the splash pad and all that, and they really enjoyed themselves. I think one of the biggest things for me, I keep saying it, one of the biggest things is literally like, try to train your mind to understand that your future can slowly get built up, right? And you can make it better every single day the more you do now, right? I think one of the biggest things is the FIRE movement, right? We talked about that episode. I mean, these people are investing 75 to 90% of their income. Sure, they're living at home with mommy and daddy and blah, blah, blah. Good for them. Like, honestly, take advantage of it, because guess what? They're 30, maybe 40 years old, completely retired, because they got used to living off of $10,000 a year type thing, and now all they need, then they go buy a house, and guess what? All they need is like $10,000. I mean, yeah, okay. There's other people that are like me, who's like, oh man, I want to see the world, and they're doing it for cheap, and stuff like they'll still see the world, they'll still do things, but they don't have fancy cars, they don't care about that type of a thing. I'm totally selling Amway. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hey, have I told you guys about the fastest way to make money?
You have not, Nick.
Oh, let me tell you. So you could get a big giant check that's dated 20 years ago
by selling Amway.
Gosh.
You can make Dick DeVos and whatever his ass Van Andel very, very rich.
Jay Van Andel, yeah.
Yeah, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah. No, it's hard.
And then Betsy can tell you how to run education into the ground.
Yeah. People always tell you, right? Oh, hard work and dedication, you'll do it. And it's like, when you go to work and you get passed up for that promotion, you work your butt off, right? Or you feel, oh yeah, but that one day you just sat around. Okay, we all have that one day. Now, think about it. If you set yourself for hard work and dedication, aka you invest in yourself by putting money away every month, that promotion is going to come. Why? Because guess what? Like, you promoted yourself to, I always said when I quit my job, I was going to call them with an eye problem, right? I don't see myself coming in anymore, right?
Yep.
Say, no.
It's one of those things too. So we sit there and you look at jobs specifically.
Mm-hmm.
If you're getting paid a great amount of money, that's awesome.
Yep.
But you have to know your worth and what makes you happy.
Yep.
So,
this is
my job hasn't changed in the last, we'll say, 15 years. And there were times that I absolutely loved my job and I loved who I worked for. And there were times I hated my job and who I worked for. And there were times that, I had bosses that were basically pushing me the hell out of there. And I was willing to take a huge pay cut to go anywhere else. It didn't matter.
Yep.
And the job itself never changed. It's just that change in leadership. And, when you work for people that trust you and actually care about you, it's better than people that don't. So, there's that old adage that if you drop dead, they'll have your job posted before the obituary is posted. And that really is true, because they look at you as a number. You make them money.
Oh yeah, my number was 27462. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Correct.
That's all Gentex seen me as, right? How you want to know how I knew this, right? When I got my demotion, I go to the production line. I have to introduce myself, blah, blah. The day I walked to get my $5 an hour decrease, the guy goes, hey, I'm John Smith, department manager. And I was like, cool, I'm Nick. And Oh, how long you been? It has to figure out who I am, right? Like,
Yep.
look, I've been here 9.5 years. My boss should have told you who I am, how long. Like, you can't even take 2 seconds to figure out who I am, right? Like, that's fine. I say, there you'll always be a number. Like, I used to be I'm the person that fights for Walmart because I think they're a great corporation in their business mindset and the way that they do things. Like, everybody has the opportunity to go to China, Africa, whatever it is, and find these products and say, hey, look, I'll pay you for this massive amount, right? And so, but when it comes to employee treatment, I don't think that they're greatest, right? Like, so.
Oh, you mean because the majority of people on welfare work at Walmart?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, sure, they've created jobs, but they've also taken other locals, right? I mean, I'm all about building business, no matter what business it is, and it's sometimes it's tough to say that, right? Because
Well, and we look at it, you think Costco's hurting for money?
no,
And they pay their employees great. Their employees are very happy.
fantastic. I mean, we did the episode on Dan Price, right? And
Yeah.
pays employees fantastic. They took pay cuts because they were invested in.
When they hit the pandemic, Gravity Payments had employees literally saying, I will work for free.
Mm-hmm.
Because they loved their jobs and their boss so much.
Well, there's the old saying, right? You don't leave a great job, you leave a bad you leave a bad boss,
yep.
Right? A bad manager or whatever, right? And so, at Gentex, when I had my manager, honestly, he was a great guy. I feel bad that he got fired. I can't say he was the greatest boss in the aspect of the business side of thing, or and whatever. But like you said, when I need time off, it was, hey, I'd really like to go to my daughter's this. Yeah, man. And like he understood that I was there to work for the company and get the job done, but I wasn't there for the company, right? Like he understood that, hey, we need an employee. This guy's going to come in, he's going to do his job, and he's going to do it very well. But he also is doing bigger and better things. And he has the entrepreneur spirit. He's going to be a writer and he's an illustrator, and he's put out a bunch of books and stuff like that. We should have him on sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when I look at it, right, like he wouldn't push for me to get any farther, right? And I always said, like, hey, Rex, wherever you go, I'll go because I know that you have my back in this aspect. Like he always understood that, hey, I'm devoting as much as I personally can / want to, because I know that this company tomorrow will fire me. And guess what, right? It wasn't tomorrow, but it was 9.5 years later.
So this brings up a good point because, being a varsity coach, I was an employer.
Yep.
In a lot of ways. And now being a varsity assistant, I'm an employee. So we're leaving the huddle today after the game.
Yep.
And Chris hired on another assistant. Okay. Former player at the school. She graduated a year before his daughter. So, I mean, he never coached her at the school, but, excellent ball player. She's been a JV coach for several years. Got passed over for a varsity job, got pissed off about it, quit.
Sure.
Came to us because she wants to be a varsity coach.
Yeah.
And she felt that, coaching with us would help her learn how to do that.
Yeah.
So her and I are walking together back to the dugout, and I said, hey, great work today. And she goes, yeah, I didn't do anything. I'm like, yeah, you just don't see what you do.
What? We had this conversation.
Yeah. And she's like, well, I don't really know what you mean. I'm like, listen. A year after he left me, Marv ended up having to step down because he was taking care of his grandkids. I didn't have Nick anymore because, he had a baby. I coached that entire season alone. I said at one point, I had a kid get hit in the face with a bat, gashed her lip open, bleeding all over the place. Her tooth's basically sticking through her lip because I'm alone and I don't have any help.
Yeah.
So anytime you have people that are willing to come and help, that's huge because it's something else you don't have to do yourself. Being a head coach in any sport is a very lonely feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Even when you have great assistants. I know, so like Chris sent a text to the two of us today. Here's my lineup. And I'm fighting hard for this one player that he's talking about maybe pulling. I'm like, you can't pull her. Yeah, but base running wasn't good. I'm like, yeah, I got that. You can't pull her. And he literally called me because he's having issues with this. And I get it.
Sure.
I'm like, listen, the kid doesn't know what she's doing. She hasn't played enough softball to know. She's just athletically gifted. And at the end of the day, I'm sitting there going, we can't have her discouraged, because if she's discouraged, we're going to lose her.
Yep.
So instead, I need her in the lineup. I need her to at least do some things that are positive today. And if we can look back and say, hey, this was positive, hopefully, it turns that corner of, instead of playing afraid, she's, more apt to just let that athleticism take over.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that he has people that he can rely on, even though it is a lonely position, to say, hey, this is how I feel, this is what I see, that's what you have to have. I don't want somebody as a coach agreeing with me because they just, want to say what I want to hear.
Well, it was, we did that plenty of times.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we did, because we're not afraid to piss each other off, and we're not afraid to give feelings. And that, so we had a girl who was just, ridiculously fast, right?
Yep.
And David's like, hey, I want to try to do this. And I was like, I need her to understand that stealing is our fault. Ready? Send her. I don't care. That ball can be in the pitcher, right, go. Like, if she gets thrown out, I'll take it. And he's like, yeah, but we want that. No, go. Like, just go. Like, if it gets tagged out, I was like, trust me, the opportunity that they're going to do this. And all right. And this girl just books, right? And boom, all of a sudden, down in the dirt, this ball is nowhere to be found. And we're like, go next one, right? And so she takes her time, and then just so much speed, right? To third, all of a sudden, you're like, and then all of a sudden, every time she's like, I'm gone. Like, we only had her bunt. This girl couldn't, she couldn't hit. She's seen the ball, but like, she would just bunt, right?
Everybody was terrified of her in the conference, too, because she was so freaking fast. If the ball hit the ground, she was a first.
She was gone. It was just insane. And, but the fact is, we had to have you learn it, right? And we could teach you to pull a bat back. We can't teach you to not be afraid. Let's say, I think I think when you're talking about that, sometimes you have to have people like you and I. Sometimes you have to have people that are there to trust in you to get yourself, like, to pay yourself that way, right?
Yeah.
Pay yourself to be successful. And guess what? Once she did it once, right? She built that confidence. And the next time, and every time it just gets a little. And sure, hopefully by like the fifth time you get thrown out, right, or whatever, and you're like, oh, hey, I learned that I need to do it when this happens, right? You're gonna teach yourself that, right?
Well, and when we were playing yesterday, this kid made several goofs on the base paths.
Sure.
And got yelled at a lot for it, which, that's going to happen. As varsity softball, that's going to happen. So I pulled her aside today before the game, and I said, listen, if you're going to screw up at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Because if you screw up at 100 miles an hour, you're going to get yelled at a whole lot less than if you screw up at 15 miles an hour.
Yep.
Because what's going to happen is we're going to get pissed because you were indecisive. At one point, she got thrown out stealing second base because she took off like a bat out of hell.
Yeah.
And halfway there stopped.
Yep.
And then she took 2 steps back towards the first, and then she went to run to second, and she fell down. And it's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yep. Well, that cost you the difference of nursing them in 3 instead of 4.
Well, it was yesterday, but still.
Still, right? Like, those are the things. I don't know. I think what people forget is that they don't value themselves enough, right? People have self-confidence. People have this. But it really does, to me, it comes back to instant gratification, right?
Yeah.
Because if you get something right here, right now, if you get that reward instantly, like, you feel gratified. Where if you're putting money away that you don't remember, you're not feeling it. Because, I remember when I first started my 401k, like, it was like, that's a lot of money, $100 and $200 a week, whatever the heck it might be. And then, years later, all of a sudden I'm looking at $100,000 and I'm like, holy shit balls, like, what happened? And you and I do it on our betterments, and it was like, man, I've only invested, let's say $400, and I got 480 sitting here, and I was like, I didn't do shit for $80, It's like,
well, I think Vanessa's a great example when we talk about this. So for anybody that hasn't heard the episode, we've done 2 episodes with Vanessa talking about her debt. And the first time Vanessa and I talked, which was not recorded, I told her, I said, this is how I would attack your debt. And she came on to talk to Nick and I, and she's like, yeah, David told me to do this, but I did this instead. And Nick's like, oh yeah, that's totally how I would do it. And basically what it was is I told her, let's go for the instant gratification and pay off all the small stuff, because I know how most people think. Most people need that instant gratification where, they can see, hey, I had a success today, this got paid off. Whereas Vanessa is very much, when it comes to gratification, like Nick and I, she wants to see those bigger things pay off. And that makes her feel accomplished. So, she took a huge bill, which was her Amazon credit card, and paid that off, which was, I'm going to say about $5,000. And she got that paid off in less than 6 months. And she's still attacking the other debt that's out there.
Yeah. No, and that's a big thing, right? Like we talk about that all the time. Like, hey, everybody talks about getting rid of your credit card, that high interest. And, sometimes it's not that. But when you talk about building debt, right? It's usually, I would say, like credit cards are usually used for instant gratification, right? They are like, hey, I want these clothes. I'm going on vacation. I need a new this. Where, your savings, you don't get the gratification until later when you look at it.
The people that kill me are the ones that have a savings
and still
have credit card debt.
Yeah. Because they need that comfort.
Yes, they want to sit there and go, well, if something goes sideways, I have this money to pay for it.
It already went sideways.
Yeah, you have debt. It's costing you 20% a month.
Yep.
And you're happy to pay, that 20%. I'm not happy to pay that 20% a month.
But they're comfortable, right? And that's one of the things you got to get out of your comfort zone, because you weren't comfortable in that situation. That's why you made a bad decision. And so the more we can get you comfortable with it, like. And I try to do this with people all the time. I'm like, look, pick a number that you're comfortable with. I'll never be comfortable. Okay, well then you know what? You need to start making right decisions right now. Otherwise, sad to say, there's not much we can do if you don't help yourself.
So even so I always bring things back to a sports analogy.
Yeah, of course.
So we're playing today, and we score 11 in the first.
Yeah.
You know how comfortable I felt with an 11-0 lead?
Yeah.
Not.
No,
I'm worried that things are going to. Yeah, we come from a school where 11-0's like down by 5. So, in all honesty, we're sitting there and I'm looking at the score going, okay, our pitchers are really good right now. Our defense is really good right now. We're hitting the ball well. 11-0 still doesn't seem safe to me.
Yeah.
I was telling Nick before we got on the show here, Mercy's 15 after 3, and we're in the bottom of the 4th. And we get the first 2 runners out, and they're at the corners, nobody out. And the runner at first says to me, should I go? Is he going to give me the steal sign? And I'm like, wait for the steal sign. I said, but worst comes to worst, second pitch, I want you gone because I don't want the force out at second.
Sure.
And they decided to intentionally walk the hitter. Mind you, it brought up our best hitter who had already hit a home run and a double, who, ended up walking the game off with a base hit to score the, final run. It wasn't a good move for them.
Sure.
But at the same time, we're sitting there, and that, honestly, when the bases were loaded with nobody out, was the first time I felt safe.
Yeah. Well, you have to feel that. But, so we're gonna get back to your story real quick, but I want to touch base on this because Lightbright, a person that's listening to us on Podbean, just said, we use our credit card for everything and then pay it off before the end of the month and the billing period and increase the credit score, right? So, and honestly, I think that's fantastic, right? Like we both agree upon that. Pay off your credit card. Credit cards can be a tool if you're using them smart. So my only question to you, since what are you going to do with that credit score that you have? Like, what is your end game? Like, why what is credit going to give you? I have a really decent credit score, but like, I'm not fundable anymore without having the W-2. To me, people can tell me, hey, I have a 1,000 credit score, or the way I see it is 740 and above, nothing changes in that range. Like really, bare minimum. If I have 741, I'm the happiest man in the world. If I have 820, I'm the happiest man in the world. Like it doesn't matter to me. So I guess we're going to buy a new house and property, right? So yeah, that's a great goal. And when you're going to need a credit score for that, right? That's a huge thing. Your husband works in the prison system as a guard, and yeah, I say my neighbor actually did that, and yeah, they build their pension for them and stuff like that. So, but back to the softball real quick. You say you're not comfortable until this point. You're like, I'm not comfortable at 11-0 because I know who I am as a coach, right? Guess what? We're up by 11-0. I'm playing gutsy, like I'm taking kids out of the game. You're gonna start learning, right? And
honestly, that's what we did, because I went up to Chris after the first inning. We're up 11-0. I said, all right, if we continue to do what we're doing, Lily in to catch it in the third. He goes, yes, absolutely. I'm like, all right. And he switched pitchers at that point too.
Yeah, I mean,
which, we need to see what people can do. And I'm fine with that. That's great. I mean, we were fairly comfortable. We knew that, it'd be really tough to give up an 11-0 lead. It was 14-0 after 2.
Sure.
We felt pretty safe. But at the same time, I come from a place where, we were used to losing 23-1.
Yes.
So,
well, and we'd keep it close for 1 or 2, and then all of a sudden it was like,
all of a sudden it was just gone.
Wheels fall off, and here we go. So
you're gonna love this story. So Dawn and I both have Speedway credit cards,
of course,
because you get extra points. So Dawn goes to get gas on her Speedway credit card, which, mind you, she not only has a regular Speedway card, they have just approved her for a business credit card.
Sure.
So she hasn't even had it a month. She goes and swipes it. Declined. She swipes her personal one. Declined. So, God, that's weird. She calls them. Oh, yeah, you have too many inquiries. We closed your account. She goes, you did what? We closed your account. We didn't feel you were credit worthy anymore. She goes, why wouldn't you just lower my available credit instead of closing the account? Because, mind you, on her personal account, they gave her $6,600 to spend.
Sure.
And she's never had a bill over $300. And she pays it off in full every month. And she was pissed.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's asinine. To them, they felt they were making a good business decision. It's not. It was stupid, because now she's just not spending money at Speedway anymore.
Well, I mean, honestly, on their end, it is a great business decision, right? Because, I mean, they're just paying you point. They figured out your scam, quote unquote, right? I mean, they're just paying you points. They're not making any money off your interest, unless
there's a lot of that, yeah.
The Speedway have yearly
Nope.
fee, right? Yeah, so they made nothing off you.
No, they make nothing off of us.
Technically lost money. So to them, it didn't hurt anything. They're such a large corporation.
True story.
Now, and yes, they did take the chance, because I guess you can't do it with every person with how large of a corporation, but I would be going through and going, all right, how often did they buy something inside? Is it just strictly gas? Is that all they're doing? Like, if you bought something inside, that's worth money, because they made the money.
And we do buy stuff inside.
Not anymore.
Nope.
Say, I'm going to Speedway after this, right? Because I have to get gas in my car, and I'm going to do it for the points, right? And people give me crap all the time because, oh, you have a Costco membership. Why don't you go there? And gas is so much cheaper. And I'm like, first I get points and I get reimbursed for my fuel.
Yep. Might as well.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is the way to pay yourself first too, because we've always used the Speedway points to get Amazon gift cards.
Yep.
Now, I hate Amazon. I mean, they turned into Walmart for me, because
oh man, they're probably worse than Walmart.
Absolutely, because Bezos doesn't want to pay anything to his freaking employees.
He's no longer him.
He's still him. So I will spend free money there all the time, but if I can spend my money somewhere else, I will spend it elsewhere, because screw them.
Yep. And it's we drink, right? That's what we do.
Do we?
I mean, once in a blue moon.
I mean, we are Bucks and Brews.
We are, and that's it's a thing to be proud of. But
as I drink my Sprite.
Filled with vodka. It's no, sir.
Eric,
no.
we do not drink anymore, as Nick pours a Bud Light.
Hey, don't be jealous, all right? But right, like we do, like when we get bonuses and things like that, we're going out to try new things. We're constantly, I mean, Ailbert is a huge thing, right? Like, we paid ourselves because we talked about it on here. Somebody found us out. Yeah, this was your wife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like David's wife is like, hey, you guys are doing great. Like, I got you a sponsor, and it's like, this is fantastic, right? So like, we will pay ourselves in that respect, right? I mean,
Well, we've had a couple of awesome sponsors between them and Michigan Wine Company. They're like, hey, try our stuff, talk about it on the podcast, and we're very happy to do that.
It's like Michigan Wine, like that was a great cider. Right?
That was a great cider.
The only problem with that is we want another bottle.
Yeah, we finished that very fast,
quickly. Yeah, I'd say, you know, but it doesn't always have to be this luxury thing, right? You know, I bought a new car today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What's that about?
I'm gonna flip it. Say, you know, my mom's neighbor, she had she's an 06 Jeep Grand Cherokee, right?
Yep.
She just bought a brand new one, right? 2021. I don't care that she's in debt. Like, sure, I can talk to her about it and say whatever. And it's funny because I have the title, and she just paid it off March of 21.
Okay, so this month.
Like literally, yeah. Wow. So just paid it off.
Still this month.
Made her last payment or something, and then turned around and went and got a brand new one. Okay. Yeah. So like that's not like I don't care. Like doesn't impact my life. She's not my wife. She's not anything. But she's like, my mom's like, hey, she wants to sell her. You know, it's got 110,000 miles on it, and wants $1,200.
That's a pretty good deal.
You know, Blue Book's out at $3,500 to $4,500. Oh yeah, or like consider it sold, right? Say, should have the Harley paid off in 14 months. You know what? I think you should have that Harley paid off in 7 months, and then I'll be proud to ride with you. Okay, but if it's not a paid off Harley, that's going to break down. Say, people have to realize that like. On the way here, there was somebody hit a deer right with their car, and I went around. But it's like, man, everything like all those things are replaceable. Yep. You know, I don't know what your financial situation is, but if you don't have the money to replace it and you just have to go finance a car, you got to think about that situation that you're getting yourself into. Say, wow, and you know what? I'm hoping you're saying, wow, that I'm pushing you to get 7 months instead of 14. Not that I keep giving you crap about your Harley. Is it a fat boy? I mean, tell me it's at least a big Harley, not like a Sportster.
Well, I mean, Eric's a decent sized guy. I would assume it's.
All right, Street Bob. I'll give you some credit for that. You know, it's not a horrible bike. No, I just say I get talked crap all the time. Like when you're a Honda guy, right? I mean, just because Harley guys will always talk crap, and when you're it's just got to go both ways. 18, yeah, I say that was the worst thing. I think it was 2016. Harley started coming out with their 17. Harley came out with their first 1800, and I was like, man, now they can compete with Hondas because the nearest one was like 1300. Up until that point. So
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. And I'm okay with that.
Size of motor. So, but yeah.
So as we talk about paying yourself first.
Yeah.
I guess my thought is, you have to have that goal. So, while we're sitting here, obviously Eric had a goal of, I want to get a Harley.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Like Bright, she talked about they set money aside for Christmas funds.
Well, no, that was from her husband's money.
The
company. So now we have to get back to what we forgot to ask that question.
Okay.
What do you do with that $10 to $20? Like you said, you took $10 to $20 and put it away every time you went grocery shopping. What are you doing with that money? That's our next big question.
Yeah, it's sitting in the safe.
Yeah.
What is that earmarked for?
I mean, is that the down payment on the house that they're building their credit for? Like, I'm really excited for this. So, yeah, that's we'll have to go take a ride. I'm excited for this.
I honestly, I've heard some of Eric's successes here.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to catching up with him.
Yeah.
And I think when we do our episode, we're doing a combined Bucks and Brews with Gumball Head.
That'd be great.
So he's going to go live, we're going to go live, and we're going to combine the episodes. So I think that's going to be awesome.
Double collabo. I'm excited about it. So, it's a big thank you. I mean, we'll take a nominal fee, but that's awesome, man. I'm very excited. So
we do, and again, we love to celebrate those successes, and that makes our day, honestly.
Oh, 100%. The feedback we get from people is why we do this, and it's we're not afraid to celebrate other successes as our successes, right? Because we're hoping that what we teach people, we're hoping that what we do gets people to be motivated to do the next big thing.
So Eric had said this earlier on here, so people obviously listening can't see it. So he wore his Bucks and Brews shirt to work the other day, and a coworker recognized it because the coworker listens, and that. Honestly, for us, that's just fantastic.
I say you see the messages.
I did.
And like instantly, I was like, "That is fantastic! That is like the most amazing news I've heard." Like I grinned from ear to ear. I bragged to my wife. I was like, "This is great! Like I don't know this person, right? Like, and I'm getting feedback. Like this is fantastic for us."
So I'm sending a shirt off in the next week.
Okay.
To a former player of ours.
Okay.
And this player who does not live here anymore, so you might know who it is.
Ariana.
It is Ariana. Yeah. Ariana now works for a credit card company. And she had posted this on Twitter. And I said, hey, your former coaches, they do a financial podcast you might have heard of. And she goes, yep, the first time I have some time off, we need to talk. Yep. So eventually we're going to have Ariana on. We're going to talk credit cards.
Yeah. Yeah, no, oh man, Eric, that is, like right there, dude.
That's fantastic, man.
You just touched my feelers. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So everybody at Eric's work listens when he's listening, because he forces them to, maybe.
I'm so proud of him.
I am too.
Hit me right in the feelers. So, and what we're hoping.
Yeah, take back the Harley hate then.
In fact, it's gone. The good thing is. The people that are at his work that are listening to this, right? If we get any one of them to go up to Eric, to go up to, or to start listening, and Eric's going to go, hey, listen to their 401k or listen to their invest in yourself. Like, man, if the next person in life starts a 401k earlier,
or contributes a little extra money,
right? Does something, like, hey, we're doing this. What's the average age for starting investing in 401k?
I'm gonna just take a wild guess that it's like between 35 and 40.
The answer is they say that actually it's right about 25 years old,
which is huge.
Yeah.
I'd started at like 23, but again, is that investing or is that just saying, hey, companies match and I'll just do this even though it's not going to do anything for me?
Yeah,
because that was me for the first 10 years.
Well,
and Eric just chimed in with 42 to take it serious, and I would agree with that because I started taking it serious in the last 5 years. 5 years ago, I was 38, turning 39.
Yeah, well, and I remember that because. I remember you telling me, I do the match, and I'm like, okay, but what else? And I'm doing this, and it's like, and then David and I started talking. It's like, oh hey, and then all of a sudden you get stashed, and then you get Acorns, and it's like, all right, like now I don't feel bad, but like I used to give you crap all the time because it's like, dude, I know what you're doing, like I know, and we talk about it. Oh hey, I spend all this money on cons, and I do this, and my wife hates it, and I'm like, yeah, but are you really investing in yourself? Like, I'm not. I never failed you or, never shunned you or said you're dumb or anything. But like, it's like, hey, you could be doing more, better. You don't need it. Yeah, but I have this budget. And it's like, okay, but like, let's take a look at your budget and figure out like, dude, I'm telling you, like, and I kept telling him like, you're going to later in life, you're going to thank me and you don't see it now. And no. And like honestly, his investment started like
I really ramped up the investments.
Right. Like,
even when I'm looking at my house payment, my goal is to pay it off in 10 years. It's a 15-year loan.
Yeah.
I want to pay it off as soon as possible.
Oh man, that's great.
And Eric's contributing way more than I am to his 401k because I'm at 6% and he's at 8%.
Well, I was in when I was working, right? Like the amount of people that weren't investing were like a lot of my younger friends or whatever, and then the guys I was working. So I found one guy who, he sold his house, so he had a crap ton of money, and then made stupid financial decisions. I'm not lying. Like, let's say he sold his house and profited $150,000. What do you think he bought?
New car.
2 of them, one for him and one of his wife, both Lexuses, one for 70, one for 80,000 bucks. Turned around probably 6 months later, took a $15,000 to $23,000, I don't remember, loss on it, right? Bought other cars type thing. Took all that money and started. He's like, I got to reinvest. And then, him and I just kept talking about finance. And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I'm going to bump up my 401. Like, so that's how I ended up getting into the 25% of my 401k.
Yep.
And then, the Roth kind of happened. And I was like, this is what I'm living off. And like, it's funny because like, I was never afraid to show my paycheck because this is what you guys want to call me out. Like, this is straight up what it is. Like, I'm going to just show you the total of my 401k. Yep. But I will show you how much money and we were talking about it with another friend of mine about how my friends would say, hey, I got a $1,900 bonus. And I'm like, how the hell did you get a $1,900 bonus? I'm over here with like $1,100 and I work just as much, if not more than you. And they're like, and then like it hit me. I was like, oh man, you guys don't invest anything. Like you should just take your money. And I'm like, oh, mine's literally just invested, right? $900. What was I going to do? Like go spend 900 more bucks on food and beer? Like, so I don't miss it, right?
I have to ask this question.
Yeah, of course.
Because I got yelled at by my wife last week.
Of course.
So I heard a little bit before we started recording last week about the Nick's tenant blamed the cops being called on Nick, but I never really got the story. And Dawn's mad because I never got the story. Not to take us on a tangent, but
sure.
Can you tell the story?
I can. So YouTube, you might want to skip forward if you're not interested in my tenant stories.
And we'll hold that for half a second. So Eric has raised his FICO score almost 200 points in a year.
That's huge. Good for you.
Wait, yeah, in a year.
Yeah.
That is huge. Anyways, go ahead.
All right. So we'll do the long story because we're long people.
We are.
I get this tenant that's supposed to get evicted. All right, eviction diversion kind of causes some things. So I say, hey, what's it going to take for you to get out? And all of a sudden they say, you give me half my security deposit back and I'll leave. Okay, so at this point it's $267.50. So and I said, to be clear, if I show up with a check with $267.50, when can you be out? Tomorrow by noon. $267.50 will be there at noon tomorrow, and all your stuff needs to be gone. Okay? So I show up. They're not ready. I come back at 3 because, they only have, great. 3 o'clock comes. We sign paperwork. We sign everything. Give them their money. A couple days later, it kind of goes by. And, they call, well, we didn't know what we were signing. We didn't understand. If you give us all of our security deposit back, we'll be happy. You can't renegotiate after this.
Right. You have to sign paperwork.
Yep. So, they keep going back into the unit and stuff like that. So I have to call the police, right? Cops come and I meet him out there on like a Sunday, right? So I'm talking to the tenant. He's like, yeah, we're not leaving because rent's paid and this and that. And I was like, well, you signed a paper saying you're gone. I was like, and they're like, we're not leaving. I was like, so you're there right now. So I drive all the way out there and on a Sunday, meet a cop, show them documents. They're like, all right, cool. Like, I don't care if you didn't understand the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. Take it up with the court. You're officially gone. She goes, you want to push trespassing? And I was like, no, whatever. We'll get a warning. They turn around and like a dad, right? I start counting from 10, 9, 8, and they're not leaving. So, the one lady's like, we're just going to come right back. And I was like, F it. Get him for trespassing. Cop goes, yep, got to. So get trespassing. I go to one of my contractors' houses real quick for about an hour because I figure, they're gonna come. So I drive right back. Guess who's sitting on the porch? So call the cops.
Call the cops again.
I'm like, hey, you got trespassers. She comes. Guy gets arrested, right? Because he's on the property, and she's explaining to him, you can't be here. You have this, and you have options. So. Guy gets walked to the cop car and he looks at me and goes, thanks, Nick. I was like, I didn't do anything. Like, you're the one that can't listen and can't do whatever. So I get thanked for having them arrested because they came back on my property and I did nothing wrong, right?
Well, you're supposed to just let them squat there.
Yeah, sure. That's what the real people would do. The nice people in life,
Yeah.
It's like,
who are they?
It's
I haven't met any of those
I
yet.
say nice doesn't pay my bills.
True
But
story.
so go out, and I'm out there. I'm out there again for another thing, and roll up to the same thing. Guess who's sitting on the porch? So I call the cops, and I'm like, "Hey, I got a trespasser."
You didn't like change the locks immediately?
Locks were changed. So
Oh, they were just sitting there.
yeah, this time on the porch or whatever. And I'm like, we got nowhere else to go. So I get out of the car because he's not I'm a big dude, and he doesn't have any weapons or anything. I know this. They're too poor to have a weapon. So, and so I get out, and I was like, Bob, let's call him Bob. Why do you keep doing this? Well, I've paid rent till the end of the month, and that's it. And I was like, yeah, but you signed a document. You know you're going to jail. Why keep pushing it? And so cop comes, they take him away, and and his words are, I said, you're going to jail. He goes, yeah, I don't care. And he's like, all right, guess we're gonna do this again. And I was like, this is ridiculous, So like you can't keep it, right? In COVID, they just let him out right away because it's not a bad offense, right? So yeah, and I went out there today. Actually,
he's still there.
They were walking towards it. I was 3 minutes early from having them be to the spot, and I was like, "Come on!" It was ridiculous. So, yeah, and I've told the tenants. I was like, "Hey, make sure you keep the doors locked and blah blah." And
yeah,
it's crazy. So it doesn't help that another one's getting evicted. So now they don't care. So
that is a problem.
Yeah, but no, and as a human, right? I feel bad. As a human, I care. I try too much, but when it bites you in the butt so much, when it takes so much out of your business, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, and you just keep getting screwed over. Like there's no point in. And people just think, oh, I instantly. And it's funny because the cops there are like, hey, let's go and blah blah. And can we ask you a question? Every time, of course, you can ask me any question you want, and I will answer it, right? Like because I want you. Because inside of me, it makes me feel good, and that's the problem. Is I need to worry about me as well. Like, why is this? Well, because you signed this. Like, because you stated exactly what you want. I didn't put a price. I asked you what you wanted. You were very happy at this point. Like, you just wanted your next whatever, right? You wanted your next bottle. You wanted anything, and so. I want to make sure that everything I do is very honest, very clean, very true to who I am and how I run a business.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're about an hour in now.
Yeah.
I know for myself, when I'm looking at paying myself first, I'm looking at doing two things. One, I want to retire a little earlier, so I'm paying my investments so that hopefully that'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I'd like to, get away.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a vacation or two because I haven't done that much in the last, 20 years. And it's time. I'm 43. It's time to start traveling a little more again.
Yep.
So with you paying yourself first, what are you looking for?
To be able to do what I want when I want, like, right. And that's a big key. And I want to live a life with minimal regrets, right? I mean, there's always going to be stuff in this world that you do that you wish you didn't. I mean, no matter how hard you try, there's always going to be that thing, right? You didn't handle the situation the way you wanted. So, I want to make sure that my kid understands that she can be better than me. I want life legacy, right? I mean, I don't need my name on a building to have it, but I want the legacy to be there. So that way, hey, this is something that was built. This is how it is. This is how we hold ourselves.
Well, I know, people have asked Dawn her 5-year goal, and she keeps saying, in 5 years, I'm knocking on 50.
Yep.
It's a very physical job. I don't know if I can keep doing this.
Yep.
And I guess, when I look at it in 5 years, it is a very physical job, and I don't know if I can keep doing it either. But I'd still like to have it because I look at what it's doing right now, and I realize if we keep growing at the rate we're going, we're going to be able to employ more people, and her and I will get to work less. Like Friday, You know, Friday we took the night off.
There you go.
So I told Chris, I'm like, yeah, I got to jet by such and such time because I got to get to the business. And, you know, Dawn's like, yeah, the girls are working the business tonight. We're not.
There you go.
And I mean, Nick, the two of us, we kept looking at the cameras just to make sure things were good. I texted Jenna a few times. Everything ran smooth. It was a good night. We were like literally 4 minutes away.
Sure.
So if they needed us, they knew they could call. No big deal. But it's weird to walk away from your thing because, again, it's like having a baby.
Oh, 100%.
And we're always waiting for, you know, that customer that decides, you know, they want to be an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, we had one call on Saturday. Calls on Saturday and says, are you guys still requiring masks? Dawn goes, yes, we are. Well, if you're going to require a mask, I'm not coming. And she goes,
thank you.
Okay, well, we know. Thank you very much. And he's like, I think it's stupid that you require masks. Mind you, my wife at this time is looking this person up because they show up on caller ID who they are. And because she's my wife and she's learned passive aggressive nature from me, she goes, well, and I want you to know that I won't worry about the $0 you spent here in 2 years by not coming already. So if you can't wear a mask, I guess you'll keep spending $0 here.
Sure.
And I don't think he liked it. But shit happens.
Yeah, we didn't ask what you liked. Right?
No.
I mean, you know, I'm not going to let one person ruin everything I've ever built in my life.
Correct.
Right? You know, where you stand on mask, that's on you. Where, you know, I mean, this is I'm probably the most of all of us, like, not anti-mask. You know, but my wife, she's like, hey, you can get a COVID shot, and she keeps bugging me about it and stuff like that. And I can get you in. And she texted me today, hey, just to let you know, what she does, she kind of gave me some insight of the amount of, and what age group of people like are there and stuff like that, right? And so I was like, fine, I'll get my stupid COVID shot, right? Like, I don't like needles, but so I'm 7 a.m. tomorrow, I'm gonna be out on 50 miles away getting my COVID shot.
You don't even feel it.
Which is fine. I mean, but the fact is right, like, I don't care if you don't get it. Like, I don't care. I care about you as a person, but if you don't care about you as you yourself to feel the way, that's on you, man. Like, you know, and if you're the person that's so scared to go out, that's on you too. Like, if you're afraid to live your life, if you're afraid of this, like, and I get the other side of things. Like, I get, oh, hey, you know, I have these things, and I people need to respect my area, but I also understand that, like, as a person who's outgoing, as a person, like, this is some of the worst times of my life, right? Like,
well, you're very social,
and
you want to go be social,
very, and I enjoy. I mean, I'm a big dude. Let's be honest, but I enjoy physical. Like, a handshake is one of the biggest things for me. Like, you will always see my buddies and I mean, you and I hug.
Yep.
My buddy Travis and I, right? Like, we seen each other Friday for bowling. We got to bully each other for the first time in years, right? Like, we hug. Like, that's what we do. Like, physical connection. Handshakes are. I will always say goodbye. I will say hello. That's how I live my life.
The game yesterday, Chris's dad came.
Yeah.
After the game, I walked right over to him. I gave him a hug.
Yep.
We both had our masks on, but I gave him a hug.
Yep.
You know, and he's not my dad, but in some ways he kind of is. I mean, you know, when Chris wanted to start coaching, he's the one that said, hey, go talk to David. He could probably use you.
Yeah.
And he set that whole thing up to get Chris to come coach with me. And I remember when we went up to play them your first year with me, well, your only year with me.
Yeah.
He pulled me aside and he goes, I know you're not happy. I'm like, no, I'm miserable. He goes, you should just quit and come up here. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really think I want to do that. And he hounded me every time I saw him. He's like, you should just quit and come up here.
Yeah.
And the minute I got fired, the question was, hey, you going to come up here? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I really want to keep coaching. And again, I really only went up there because I felt like I owed him 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there today coaching a game going, you know, they play like this. I could see myself back here next year because they can get it.
They care. They have.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're trying to. I've told them since we started this, I need you loud. I need you engaged. I need you to care about the person next to you.
Yep.
And the entire time I'm out on the field, I don't feel like a hitter can hear me because the freaking bench is so loud. And I mean, you know as well as I do, when we were at Godwin, we wanted those girls to be loud because, again, they only had us.
Yeah, that's like,
Whereas with, we got to stand packed.
Yeah.
Troy sent me a message yesterday. He goes, "What's it like having all the parents at a game?" I'm like, kind of annoying.
yeah, it's a,
Because they wanted, I don't want to talk. I don't know you. I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone.
Yep.
And
well, that's I didn't want to talk to you, but I did, but I will. Right. That's who I am. You're not going to like what I have to say.
So, I mean, it's great, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword. But these kids are so excited because they're buying into the stuff I'm telling them. Yeah. And Chris brought me in for culture, and my thing to them constantly is, I need you to care about each other. I need you to fight for each other. And I hear that and I see that, and that makes me feel good because, what the person that got keys to the game yesterday, you want to know why they voted her keys to the game?
Loudest.
She was so loud and picking everybody up when they were down, and mind you, she was our starting third baseman.
Uh-huh.
She hit fourth in the lineup. She had good at bat. So it's not like she was, the 10th player on the bench.
Yep.
She was a starter that was in the heart of the order, and everybody kept going back to, man, I did something stupid, and she really picked me up. I mean, she was there. And I'm sitting there going, that's why I want you to pick somebody for keys to the game, because they did the things as a teammate that you need.
Yep. No, and I don't know. We talked about it because we come from an area where parents didn't show up, right? We come from the non-supported. We come from the very lower income.
Yep.
Right. I mean, and it's the people I usually get along with, right? Like the working class family, and your mom works one shift, your dad works a different shift. Like, I mean, your parents are out there and they're probably working 10-hour days, right? So they have 2 hours that they might be able to see each other, and they're usually probably sleeping, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it was. So I think we always point back to, that's why you pay yourself first. And like, the problem is these people that we were coaching, like, they weren't paying themselves first. But the people that are at, where you coach now, I mean, they're, let's say, better educated, not even just educated with schooling, but, money. I mean, they're a little bit better at it. Granted, they're the ones willing to finance a brand new bat.
Yeah.
They're the one, I mean, so can't say they're really better educated, but, there is some, it's so weird for me, right? Because I don't come from money. Okay. And my daughter goes to Jenison Public Schools. Okay. And so we had a movie night for my daughter, and it was a drive-in movie, so everybody was in their car, social distance and stuff. And so I emailed the principal, and I was like, hey, if anybody needs $10 for the sponsor, like, I'll cover every last person, no questions asked, right? Okay, we'll see if we have any families that, like, there might be, because there are some, like, out of the, and I'm sitting here going, nobody took me up on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's so crazy. Like, dude, if this would have been Godwin, like, yup. Like,
yeah, you would have had a ton.
Right. I would have been $300 out. Like,
yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I would have been, I wouldn't have said anything. Like, it was just all the back, whatever. And they would have enjoyed it. Like, and so it's so weird that the school has, so we do PTA meetings, right? And our amount of money that we have in reserves sickens me, right? Because I'm sitting here going, this is just crazy how much we have, and we're fundraising for more and more and more and more, and we have to keep it going. But I'm like, wow, I'm not the richest person, because I mean, there's some of the people I see out there, and I know what they do for a living, and I'm just like, one's a doctor. I know one guy's a doctor. I know one, 3 lawyers. One's like the head of UPS, like, just big time. And I'm just like, all right, yeah. So when it comes to money, I'm the poor man. Like, my daughter's the poor one, but we can still pay for it, right? So it's insane to me.
Well, I mean, I look at the players I coached in the first, we'll say, 4 years at Godwin.
Yeah.
The parents I knew Caitlin Whitley's parents, both of them, because they came to everything. I knew Kitty Clomster's parents, they came to everything. I knew Jenny's parents because, Mark coached with me for years, and Sue came to everything.
Yep.
I knew both the kids from Tri-Unity's parents. Well, I knew April's dad. I didn't know her mom. And I knew both of Ann's parents because they came to everything.
Yep.
I mean, they paid for their kids to go to school. They went to a Christian school.
Of course.
Chloe's mom. I mean, I knew her dad too, but I didn't really like him, so we're gonna just say Chloe's mom. Ariana's mom.
Yep.
I'm running out of people here. Oh, Deja's mom, I knew.
Yep.
I'm running out of people, Nick.
Yep. And that's.
Oh, we're at like 7 people.
Yeah, out of a roster of 13. I mean,
yeah, a year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, per year, right? So yeah, that's.
And there might have been a few more that I knew that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head.
Sure.
That's not a ton of people. Like, I met Priscilla's mom once.
Yeah. Well,
and I coached her for 3 years.
We did meet what's her face's mom and dad or stepdad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We won't mention her name. Ashley's friend.
Yeah.
That was a fun day.
But no, it's surprising, like how much but the problem is when you always see the kids get picked up.
Yep.
I knew the one girl's dad because I actually bowled with her and stuff like that. But when you look at it, it's like, and he shows up to bowling and new bowling balls and new stuff, and it's just like
never showed up to a kid's game.
Right. And then that's fine, however you want to support, and I'm not going to tell you how to parent, but man, like the financial decisions that you're making and the way that you're teaching your kid finances, to me, it's like, man, I have 18 years from the day my daughter's born till she graduates, theoretically, right? If she goes to college, if she gets married, I only have 18 years to save money for an expense that I can change their life.
Well, you know as well as I do, looking at it, I can count on one hand the number of softball games and bowling meets I missed at Caitlin's.
Yeah.
On one hand, I can count. Combined.
Yep. I have one gymnastics that it was just, she practices like once a week, and I've missed one, right? And my daughter's 5.
Yeah.
I mean, she started when she was probably 3. And, I think it's because I probably missed 2 now. Just one, because last year's nationals got canceled.
Yeah.
So I've missed one, and I do. And it's just, but if it was rehearsal, I would be a big toss up for me, or recital. Sorry, not rehearsal. If it was recital, like it'd be a hard thing for me to like. I would probably fly home from nationals just for that day, then fly right back. Like, but the opportunity to do that comes from the decisions I've made to pay myself first, right?
And that's the important thing. If you're doing things the way you need to be doing them, paying yourself first, you have those opportunities. And, coaching that lower economic area of Godwin, most of those people don't feel they have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
But that's when, you have to find extra ways maybe to do something or extra things to cut. Mike sitting on here a few weeks ago going, I got extra time because I don't have my kids every other weekend. I'm going to go do DoorDash, and that gives me extra money to invest.
Well, and that's like, when you look at divorce happens, right?
Yeah.
And so like we had so many kids where their parents were divorced, and, we know that the other parent wasn't out working, right? Yep. I mean, there's so many things that you can do to better your life. And we just hope that you take that opportunity, right?
I mean, that's really what our whole podcast is about, is you got to find ways to better your life. And and unfortunately, a lot of that is through finances. People don't know what to do, and they don't want to talk money.
Sure.
There are plenty of people that I could impact if they would just take the time to sit down and talk money with me, but they're afraid to do it because they feel embarrassed.
Oh, yeah. Well, and people say money can't buy you happiness, and I don't think it can buy you pure happiness, but I sure think it can stop your stress.
Well, that's just it. It buys you peace of mind.
Right, 100%.
If you don't have to sit there and worry about where your next meal comes from, or if you can make your mortgage, or if the heat's going to stay on, that's peace of mind. And honestly, that's happiness.
Yep. How many, and if you have kids, right? Like, how many of the kids, my dad has to wait till Friday so I can get my physical.
Yep.
We heard that so many times, right? Just, I had it with the kids I coach, right? I mean, I come from, it was weird at Potter's house, right? I mean, you had, filthy rich, like stupid,
and dirt poor,
and you had dirt poor. There was really no in between.
Yep.
I mean, it blew my mind, like, and it's funny because the filthy rich ones, their parents were there, right? Like they're in, and the dirt poor, like, coach, can I get a ride? Yeah, sure. Like hop on in, like, so. And I'm not blaming anybody for going out and working, your jobs and doing all that, but oh, hey, I have to stay here and do this, or nah, you know what, like I find that to be something that's what I work for, right? I work to make sure that my kid doesn't have to worry about those types of things.
Well, I guess, as we're starting to wrap up here a little bit, if you can take anything from this episode, go find yourself a jar.
Yeah.
And, find $5 in your budget.
Yep.
Throw it in the jar every week. It's $20 a month.
Yeah. 20, 22, 21, 50, 21, 25.
Yeah. And, when you have those extra weeks.
Yep. But, because at the end of the year, right, that jar is going to be full. End of the year. So, people always talk about like New Year, new me. And so it's like, man, if we could just teach people on these New Years to like start by Christmas time, guess what? You're not going to worry about.
You're not going to worry about the money for Christmas.
Buying your kids. And that was, I remember when I was 14 when I bought my first ever Christmas presents for my family out of my money. And man, sure, I budget shop, but and that's why, to me, I hate lists. I'm that kind of guy. My in-laws are the complete opposite, right? They're like, this is my list, this is what I want. I'm like, no, that's what you want. You can go buy that type of thing. I want to know who you are. I want to get you something that I know you will like. And my wife's like, let's get him something off the list. And I'm like, nope, that's not me. This is who I think you are, right? And so I think the biggest thing for me is to understand that hard earned money can be easy earned money later in life.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. Just set it and forget it. Right? We talk about that all the time. That instant crockpot or instant whatever. Set it and forget it.
Well, one of my favorite troops that we didn't get to do last year, but
yep.
we tend to do every year is the JCs take underprivileged kids and they have a budget.
Yep.
And they go shopping with a superhero or Star Wars character to buy presents for their family.
Yeah.
And they have to stick to that budget. Now, mind you, they'll get us there to do this, and they think they can just send us and we can write things down and see stuff, and we have to remind them because they'll usually have sports teams there too. You better send us with somebody that can see, because I can't see to write or walk or really do anything.
Sure.
So, but just being there and seeing the looks on these kids' faces when they get to pick out a present for mom or a present for dad it's priceless, because that's something they don't get to do often because their parents don't have the money to give them to say, hey, go shopping.
Yeah. Let's say, everybody that's joining us on Podbean right now, let's say, Chris, I really appreciate the heart, the the love, the everything you guys give us. It's really important to us to get feedback, right? When you guys interact with us via chat, via likes, hearts, it tells us that what we're talking about means something to you just as much as it does to us.
Yeah, reach out to us on Twitter, reach out to us on Facebook, reach out to our email.
Yeah.
Our email is bucksandbrewsllc@gmail.com.
Yeah. So.
We're on social media, find us there. We do this, we try to do this every Tuesday. It might switch to Wednesdays here during the softball season because Tuesday's doubleheader night.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
So, we may come on some different days. We're hoping to do maybe 2 episodes on Sunday if we can work that out.
We're gonna hope.
We'll see what happens. Next gonna hit with our normal.
Let's say, guys, as always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. Wear the T-shirts because that's awesome. Because when we get the feedback, that's great. It's really cool to see yourself on your shirt.
It is.
We appreciate everything. Find us on any podcast that you listen to. Find us on social media. We're still 2 young guys that can reach out to you pretty quickly and
yep.
answer questions right away.
And if you want to hear about something specific, throw it out there because we definitely want to talk about what you guys want to hear. Shout out to Ailbird for sponsoring us again this week.
Yeah.
With their fantastic beer. Nick went to his old standby when that was gone of the Bud Light. I went to Saugatuck Brewing's Neapolitan Milk Stout because that's delicious.
Yeah. So some upcoming episodes that we're gonna work on.
We're gonna get back into our duck talks with Eric and Gary. That's gonna be great.
Yeah. I say.
We're gonna talk to a young man who I mean, I've been hyping this for a while, that spent a lot of stupid money last year, and now he's got a plan to get better.
And he's young, and so like we're gonna start him up. Like I can't wait for and we're gonna be dead in 80 years, but like can't wait for him to like be 60 and talk about, hey, I listened to this and this is what changed it around, right?
We're gonna have former player on, Ashley. She's gonna go through what her finances look like and whether it'd be smarter to save up for a better car or to move out.
Yep.
Kind of weigh those out with her.
I think we're gonna interview myself because we had some requests about my last real estate transaction because that was really new to me. We're gonna talk about. I think we're gonna do a few more real estate things here soon. We're gonna get into a few more kids episodes that the kids episodes we absolutely love doing them. Pops and Pennies is our name for that one. We always go by Bucks and Brews until the kid gets to social media.
Yep.
We have a lot of great things coming up. And we're always looking for that hot trend. We try to be cool and hip to the jive, bro.
Hey, we did a meme stock episode right after GameStop hit.
So
I mean, we'll go and do our research. It's fun for us because we love talking money. So
yeah. So if you guys need some Bucks and Brews swag, reach out to us. We'll let you know how we can get it to you as quick as possible. Magnets, stickers, all the fun stuff in life, and
buy some T-shirts. That way we can make another T-shirt order.
Yeah, we do have to make another T-shirt order here real soon because
we're down to 2 sizes.
The big guys are begging for it. So.
Yeah. So thanks again for joining us, everybody, and hopefully we'll talk to you again on Sunday, and if not, next Tuesday.
Yeah, and I'm excited for another sports episode.
Yes, we definitely need to do that. And the professor said anytime we want to talk America's greatest game, hit him up because he would love to talk more baseball.
Yeah.
So
take care, everyone.
Thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next time.